What if I told you there's a ship that isn't really a cruise ship at all? A ship that's part ferry, part cargo vessel, part lifeline, sailing every single day for over 130 years along one of the most dramatic coastlines on Earth. Welcome back to Norway's legendary Coastal Express. If you missed the first episode, we rode one of the world's most scenic trains just to reach Bergen and showed what it's like to board the MS Richard With. Now we're settling into the voyage itself, a journey that will carry us all the way up Norway's rugged coast, through fjords and remote Arctic towns on a ship that is just as historic as it is unique. It's not about casinos, water slides, or Broadway shows. This is about raw, breathtaking nature and the working ship that still connects Norway's coastal communities. Over the next few days, we'll follow the classic route that's carried mail, cargoes, and travelers for generations, hopping off at tiny ports, chasing the changing Arctic light, and later in this video giving you a full tour of the Richard With so you can see what life on board is really like. So grab yourself a delicious coffee, find a spot by the window and join us because the voyage north is just getting started.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe I'm sitting in a hot tub right now, just casually going through this insane fjord.
This is some of the most incredible, ridiculous scenery that you could ever imagine. The Norwegian coast just doesn't quit. Like, how is this real? We sailed through one of Norway's most beautiful fjords, and I'm gonna butcher this name, but it's the Hjorundfjord, on our way toward a little place called Urke. The fjord itself is about 2 kilometers wide. It plunges down 440 meters deep in places, and it's home to just over 1,400 people. Imagine living in this tucked away world of waterfalls, steep cliffs, and water that looks just like glass. I had to take this moment for what it is: the most scenic hot tub I've ever been in my entire life.
Of course, I knew my parents would be here on time. I am 6 minutes late. They're ready for the family workout. Wow, look at this view, you guys. The only problem with having such a pretty gym is I'm so distracted by the view. Workout, tick. That is so much fun. I think mum and dad have decided to join me doing all of my train while workouts every day, because obviously I have my train while app and it's awesome because I can just follow it while I'm in the gym here on the cruise. And yeah, I think we're going to be able to stay super duper fit, and the food is extremely healthy on board as well. So yeah, I feel like we're going to have a very, very healthy cruise. Quite different to a lot of cruises I would imagine.
By late morning, we'd reached a little place called Urke, tucked right into the Hjorundfjord. And honestly, it felt like stepping into a postcard. That's something you might hear quite a lot throughout this series, I'm afraid. This entire valley is framed by these sharp, snow-dusted peaks, and down below, just the tiniest little cluster of houses and cabins. We learned that only about 50 people live here full-time, which is wild to imagine because it's hands down one of the most beautiful places we've ever set foot in.
My parents are so cute. They love this so much. It's just quite ridiculous. These houses have the most sensational view. I don't know if you could really beat this view anywhere in the world.
Most of the houses here are those classic Norwegian style houses, painted red or white, some with turf roof that look like they belong in a children's storybook. Walking through it almost feels frozen in time, like the place has barely changed in 100 years. People here farm, fish, and of course, welcome the Hurtigruten passengers that tumble off the ship every day. Jaws on the floor. The Hjorundfjord is often called Norway's most beautiful fjord, and I can definitely believe that. When you're standing here in Urke Valley, you can see why. The mountains are steep and dramatic, almost too dramatic to be real, and it's so quiet. You can hear every little ripple of water hitting the shore. It feels intimate, like the fjord is keeping its own little secret, and for a moment, you're just lucky enough to be a part of it.
Ah, so beautiful, the colour of the rust red walls and roofs of the homes and the buildings, with the backdrop of the slightly bluish greenish tint of the mountains and all the mist.
Oh, it is cinematic heaven. I've just found the cutest setup. Someone's got like a little tiny home attached to a little caravan.
This is magnificent.
Whoa, unbelievable.
This right here, Urke Valley, has to be one of the most peaceful places you could ever possibly live. I swear we haven't heard a sound except for the faint footsteps of those of us on the cruise walking around. Apparently there are only around 50 people living here. It's safe to say Mum is pretty blown away and Dad is speechless. This is just the best decision to come here with them. They appreciate everything so much. They have never seen anything like this before. After exploring, we headed back on board for lunch via tender. How cool is this view of the ship in this fjord? And lunch every day on the Coastal Express is served buffet style at Torget, the coastal kitchen. And when I say buffet, I don't mean the tired trays of mystery food you sometimes picture. This is Norway, so everything is unbelievably fresh. The whole idea behind Hurtigruten's food is simple: local, seasonal, sustainable, and almost all of it comes from suppliers along the exact same coastline we're sailing. Freshly baked bread, and I mean super duper fresh. Seafood that was probably swimming yesterday, crisp vegetables, berries, cheeses. It's basically like eating your way through Norway without ever leaving the ship if you didn't want to. And because it's a buffet, you can try everything, which for me is a little dangerous, but also very, very delicious. The first 2 nights on this cruise were a buffet, and then tomorrow on the 3rd evening, we're gonna start with our proper sit-down dinner with 3-course meal with a server. We are stopping in Ålesund. In fact, we're here right now. We're only here for 2 hours from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. When we do stop, they are ranging between 10-15 minute stop to literally just drop passengers off or pick them up, all the way up to a couple of hours where we do, as guests on for the whole voyage, we do have the opportunity to hop on and off and explore. We are going to take advantage of the stop. We're going to hop off the boat, so we're going to walk around and just see what Alesund is all about. Alesund was almost completely destroyed by a massive fire in 1904, and when it was rebuilt, the whole town was designed in Art Nouveau style. That's why everywhere you look are colourful, ornate buildings with turrets, towers and tiny details carved into the facades. It's often called Norway's most beautiful city, spread out across 7 different islands, all linked by bridges framed by fjords and mountains. Honestly, it looks like a movie set. The most famous viewpoint is Mount Axla, where you can climb 418 steps to the top for a panoramic view over the islands and the Sunmore Alps below. Even just wandering the waterfront though, you feel that same fairy tale vibe. Ålesund is also one of Norway's major cod fishing hubs, exporting dried cod all over the world. So eating stockfish here is tasting a tradition that goes back hundreds of years. And here's a fun one. Ålesund is known as the adventure capital of the fjords. From here you can head straight out into the Alps for hiking, skiing or kayaking through the fjords, which makes this little city feel like the perfect blend of city life but also lots of nature.
Very surprised. Nobody on the boat had sort of told us how beautiful it was. We just thought we were stopping at a little village, and wow, what an amazing city. Beautiful colours on the buildings.
I next want to show you a pretty unique accommodation. Follow me. And this here just so happens to be a unique stay that I would love to bring Ludwig back to. This is a lighthouse, a working lighthouse, and it's actually room number 47 at Hotel Brunod. I'll put it up here on the screen. It's a lovely looking yellow hotel. You can come and stay here. Apparently you get breakfast delivered to your room, and it looks like a very unique place to stay. I would be rather excited to come back here. Let me know if you'd like to see that coming up. We've walked around Ålesund. We've been here for about 45 minutes. We're going to go back to the boat and pretty much get a nice early bedtime, I think, because it's probably another family workout at about 7 a.m. sharp in the morning. Velkommen til Trondheim. This is our first official port stop of the day. I don't know, we could have stopped multiple times during the evening because that's what we seem to do on this cruise, but this is our first one we're awake for anyway. We're only here for a quick 3 hours. It looks like quite a big city. So how I would put this cruise is it's like speed dating with each and every village and town and city that we come across. We do get a little snippet, we get a little taste, and then we move on. It's very fast paced, very different to any other cruise I've been on, but so much fun. We're gonna go and see some sights, just do some free stuff. We have booked 4 excursions for our time on board in various places. We've picked out ones that we really are excited about trying. And every other stop, we're pretty much just gonna walk around and do our own thing. Who's ready to explore Trondheim?
Yoo-hoo, we are. Looks like a big town, a big city.
I think
a place for a half-strength latte.
Dad, I'm one step ahead of you. I've already looked up Trondheim's best coffee shop. So there seems to be some kind of a fun run or like a marathon event on today. I'm quite jealous. I want to join in. It's supposed to be one of the busiest days to ever visit Trondheim. We're a little bit gobsmacked. There we go with that word again. Just by how many people are around. And it's so motivating. Everyone's running. We've found out that this is a marathon and a marathon relay. So it's a pretty massive event. We've made it to our first and potentially our only site we're going to see in Trondheim because it is quite busy and a lot of the roads are quite closed off and gated around because of this big marathon that's happening. So we've had to kind of do a really roundabout way of actually getting here. But this is, now I'm going to totally butcher this word, the Nidaros Cathedral. This is the northernmost medieval cathedral in the world. This was built between 1070 and the 1300s. Let's go and take a look inside. We've just come inside the cathedral. We did have to buy tickets just across at the visitors centre. It cost 140 Norwegian crowns per adult. The biggest medieval building in all of Scandinavia apparently, and honestly it's jaw-dropping. It was built over the burial site of Saint Olav, Norway's patron saint, and for centuries it was one of the most important pilgrimage sites in all of Europe. The front facade is covered in more than 60 statues of saints, kings and biblical figures, all carved in incredible detail. And inside, the stained glass windows are some of the most intricate in Northern Europe. When the sunlight hits, the colours just glow. It's one of those buildings that make you feel very tiny, very quiet and very impressed, all at the same time. Trondheim itself is such a fun city. It was once the capital of Norway, all the way back in the Viking Age, and it's still considered the country's historic heart. Of course, we made time for a latte stop, this time in a little cafe that looked exactly like a bookshop you'd want to curl up in for hours. Yum. Absolutely delicious. So throughout the cruise, every now and then you'll get an announcement that there's something awesome that we're going by. And they have the team jump up on the deck, usually on deck 7. At the moment, we're about to pass a lighthouse out on our left side. So I'm gonna head up there right now, see what the team have to say. I do like my lighthouses. Hey, Throughout this whole trip, this one that I'm on now and also the one that you're watching, I have carried these 2 bags with me that I have completely fallen in love with. This, my friends, is the Carry On X, and it's this super clever hybrid. It's got a really nice hard shell exterior, so it keeps everything really, really safe, but inside it's got this soft front pocket with a padded laptop sleeve, which means I can just whip my laptop out without unzipping my entire life. Oh my goodness, the wheels, guys. Those wheels.
I'm very impressed.
And this is the 72-hour backpack. It basically opens up like a little mini suitcase. It makes packing so much easier. It has a separate padded laptop spot and all of these tiny pockets that keep my cables and chargers from turning into that, you know, that usual like spaghetti travel cord situation that's like inevitable and it happens every time. That fixes that. And I tell you, these straps are so ridiculously comfy. I wore these for 7 hours straight whilst walking across the Cotswolds, and my shoulders, they felt magical. So if you're after a super duper simple 2 to 3 day travel bag set, this combo honestly works just so darn well. If you're curious about them, you can check out the Carry On X and the 72-hour backpack. The link is very neatly tucked down in the description for your convenience. I'm going to attempt to wake my husband up very gently, and I would like you guys to go and continue enjoying those fjords. Wow, there was so much suspense. I'm going to say that it was highly worth the wait. Very, 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 very picturesque. I've just been sitting up in the cafe upstairs on deck 7 working, and we had an announcement. Apparently the captain has decided, because it is such a beautiful day here, they're going to take us through a fjord called Stocksund. And this is a fjord that they don't usually get to travel through because it's very narrow, hard to navigate with big high walls. And today is a very special day, and that we should head outside and just witness the beauty happening in just a few minutes. So that is a very special thing. Wow, isn't this just so picturesque? Look at all of the little houses lined on the hill. Look, I attempted to go to the front to get a cool shot of us entering, and that is not going to happen, as you can see. So we're just going to have to stand here on the side with nobody here, and we're going to just look at the views. Yay! It's still beautiful. Wow, we're about to go under a really huge bridge. This is so gorgeous. Oh, look at this little cabin by the water with a fire. This looks so cozy. Look at that. So I got talking to Svenja from the excursions team, and she actually corrected me. We didn't just go through a fjord. Moral of the story is, this is not a fjord. This is a sound. The difference between the two is that a fjord has 3 walls, so you can come in one way and you have to turn around and come out the other way because it's a dead end. However, a sound is something you can completely travel through from one end to the next, and it goes through a mountain pass or through land. So yeah, I just learned something new today. Tonight we're dressing up rather fancy for 2 reasons. We are going to the onboard fine dining restaurant. It is a very special affair, and this is an additional upgrade. You can pay extra to experience this. There is a dedicated chef in this fine dining restaurant, and apparently the food is insane. It sounds like it's 3 courses with wine pairings, and I did hear that folks who are in a platinum members or in special rooms also have this included, I think. However, you can pay to upgrade to this like 1 night, 2 nights. In our very first night when we had our info briefing, they definitely suggested you do this at least once during your voyage because it's definitely worth it. Dad packed the suit he wore to my wedding all the way from New Zealand in his suitcase, taking up so much room. It was heavy. Mum also brought a beautiful dress, lovely jacket that she planned to wear for this one special occasion that I booked them in, and you won't actually see that occasion in this series in particular. Little hint, it was a fancy luxury train that is actually going to appear in a brand new series that I'm launching toward the end of this year. Dinner time it is. It's this cozy little spot tucked away on deck 4, a more private area compared to the main dining room. It had soft lighting, big windows looking straight out at the fjords. We had the best seat right by the window with the most gorgeous view as the sun started to dip behind the mountains. To start, you're always given the most delectable bread and butter. For my starter, I went with the Jerusalem artichoke and capra cheese with butter-baked swede, sugar kelp, puree and leek powder. It sounded so fancy, but honestly, it tasted even fancier. My parents went for the beef tenderloin carpaccio with a cheese I absolutely cannot pronounce, plus pickled apples, apple syrup, sugar kelp, and sour cream. For mains, we all went for the lightly cured baked Arctic char, served with pickled fennel, peas, and dill emulsion. And, fun fact, Arctic char was actually the main dish featured at our wedding in Sweden, so it felt extra special to be eating it again. Also, it's just so darn tasty. Oh my gosh. There's also this huge variety of wine and beer to choose from. I love that the menu had little eco symbols marking which wines were made with sustainable ingredients, so I ended up just choosing those most of the time. And then the dessert arrived, which honestly felt like a work of art. Just look at this. Dad went for the rice pancake with vanilla ice cream from Lofoten. Mum and I both went for the aquavit marinated cloudberries, paired with Arctic ice cream. It came with caramel crunch, chocolate soil, truffle seaweed, cloudberry syrup, and even crystallized mint. It was one of those desserts where every spoonful tasted completely different and completely amazing.
So comfy. Good night.
It is day 4, and today marks a very special day because today we officially crossed the Arctic Circle. At around 8:15 a.m. this morning, we just glided past a sign that you're entering the Arctic Circle, and it's extremely special because this is my parents' very first time ever crossing the Arctic Circle. Hurtigruten likes to really celebrate these things. It doesn't really go unnoticed with them. So this morning, in fact in about half an hour, there's an Arctic Circle ceremony. One of the crew members said you don't want to miss it.
I have with me hotel manager Jill this morning, and
Passengers are invited to take part by having a big bucket of icy water tipped straight down their shirts. And let's just say, they seem to pick on my dad a little more than everybody else. An interesting way to start the day, huh, Dad? So, what's it all about then? The Arctic Circle sits at 66 degrees north, an invisible line that marks the start of the Arctic. Cross it, and you've officially entered the land of the midnight sun in summer and the northern lights in winter. Hurtigruten has been sailing this route for over 130 years, so the Arctic Circle crossing has become a little rite of passage. The icy water tradition is their way of saying, congratulations, you've made it into the Arctic. Now earn your stripes. We also got a really cute little certificate later on that day. Our first actual stop for passengers to hop on and off and just explore is Bodo. We're there from 1 o'clock until 3:20. This is very exciting because we have booked our very first excursion today. It looks as though we're going to spend the day looking like a mix of James Bond and an awkward tourist in a giant life jacket. A lot of stops today. They gave us this nice little printout with a time schedule and tells you day 5 we're stopping at all these places at all the times, when we stop and when we depart, so you can see exactly when you can hop off and when you would stay on.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I better hang on tight.
Mum, are you ready to get dressed in your floating suit? Then we hopped off for our rib boat safari to Saltstraumen. And wow, it was wild. My parents absolutely loved this action because it felt so different to anything else we'd ever done. As we sped along the water in those stiff rib boats, our guide started explaining about the tidal current here. Saltstraumen is a strait just outside Bodo.
I'm a bit suspicious about this. I thought it was just a mild boating trip. Why am I wearing a special suit and gloves?
And is famous for having one of the strongest tidal currents in the world. Here's what makes it so crazy. 4 times a day, 400 million cubic meters of seawater get forced through this narrow channel as the tides rush between Hjorundfjord and Saltstraumen. As the tide shifts, the water speeds up, sometimes reaching over 20 knots, which is about 37 kilometers an hour or more in peak flow. The channel is fairly narrow, about 150 meters wide in places, and it's very deep, which helps the rush of water build up into turbulence and whirlpools. When the current is so strong, you can see vortexes up to 10 meters across and several meters deep. Cliffs carved by time, rock faces showing us crazy folds, geological folds known as Caledonian folding that are hundreds of millions of years old. The sensory overload was real. The roar of the current, rays in our face, the cold wind, the sense of being in the raw pulse of nature. My parents were grinning ear to ear. Or I think they were anyway. I don't know, I couldn't really see them, but I think they had a great time.
It's the most entertaining. We just got back from our rib adventure. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Action-packed. We were zooming through the waves, we were getting splashed with water, but we were so cozy and warm in those big suits they gave us, like floating life jacket but for your body. It's so cool. We just went down to the sauna to get all cozy and warm after that outdoor adventure, and I just love having a sauna on a cruise ship. It really makes a difference. Did the sauna, then the cold shower, sauna, cold shower, back and forth. I love it so much. It's such a nice Scandinavian thing to do. Tonight it's not a buffet in Torget, the main dining room. Tonight it's where you sit there and food is being brought to you. This did actually start last night, but last night we were at the fine dining restaurant. Tonight we're going to experience the table service, I guess you could say.
That night we ate at the main dining room, which is where the menu is kept simple but so well thought out. Usually there were 3 options for each course, a starter, a main and dessert. And honestly, I ended up picking the plant-based option almost every night because oh my goodness, they do plant-based food so well over here. That evening we were treated to one of those sunsets that just stop you in your tracks. Sunsets, they hit a little differently here in Norway. The colours stretch on and on and on across the sky, bouncing off the water in the mountains until everything feels dipped in gold. It's the kind of light that makes it genuinely hard to look away. We were here in mid-September, so the days are still long and bright at this time of year, but already shifting. You can feel the seasons starting to turn. A reminder that winter, with its darker days and stormier weather, is just around the corner, which made the sunset feel even more precious, like Norway's showing off one last big splash of colour before the nights take over. As I mentioned, if you did miss the last episode, I highly recommend going back and watching that one first, because we travelled one of the most scenic train journeys in the entire world from Oslo to Bergen just to get here. In that episode, I also explained why this ship plays such a huge and important role in Norway. Just to recap briefly, it's not just a cruise ship. It's also a ferry, a cargo service, and a lifeline for all of the towns along this coastline. Mail, medicine, school books, even cars. They all travel on Hurtigruten, which means when you step on board, you're part of something far bigger than just a holiday. But now it's time to dive into what this particular ship is all about, because today we're taking you on a full tour. Or I am. Anyway, I don't know why I said we. She's named after Captain Richard With, one of the founders of Hurtigruten way back in 1893. This ship was first launched in 1993, but recently she got a huge environmental makeover. In 2022, the Richard With became a hybrid ship, which means she now has massive battery packs paired with upgraded engines, making her far more efficient. The result? Around 25% less CO2 emissions and a big cut in air pollution. All of this, plus better waste management and heating systems, makes her one of the greenest ships sailing along the Norwegian coast. You'll wake up in the morning and realize, oh, you've already visited towns you never even saw, and it's surreal. But it makes the voyage feel alive, like it's always ticking forward whether you're watching or not. When we first boarded, our first impressions of the ship was bright. Huge windows, cozy corners to curl up with a book, and hallways that suddenly spill out into wide viewing decks. Everywhere you go, there's another place to grab a coffee and just stare out at the coastline drifting by. And the people on board are just as interesting as the ship itself. Sure, there are tourists like us, but there are also locals using this like a bus, retirees finally living their dream, backpackers hopping from port to port, even families using it as their everyday transport. That's the beauty of Hurtigruten. You're not just watching Norway from the outside, you're sharing it with the people who live here. And that's what makes it all the more special is the tradition, since this route has been sailing every day since 1893. Through storms, through winters of endless darkness, through world wars, the Coastal Express never stopped. Stepping into this ship feels far less like taking a cruise and more like joining a ritual that's been happening for years and years and years. And now it's our turn. Deck 4 is where a lot of the action happens. You've got Torget, the main restaurant, which is included in your full board dining. That means daily breakfast, lunch and dinner are all part of your voyage. What is not included, however, is alcohol. We did see that you can add this on as an optional upgrade, but I just tended to buy one when I felt like one. No worrying about hunting down food, it's all taken care of if you want it to be. And what I love is that the menus change with the journey north, so you're literally eating your way up the coast. Then there's Brygge, which is the bistro for delicious, hearty pub-style meals like burgers and pizzas or just a quick bite, and Kirsten, the fine dining restaurant that feels tucked away and extra special for an evening out. Also on Deck 4 is reception and the shore excursions desk, the go-to place if you want to book a hike, a wildlife tour, or any of the action-packed day trips along the route. Next to this is the shop, with Norwegian knitwear, little gifts, chocolate, books, and all of the things you didn't know you needed until you saw them. Then there's the lecture halls. Hurtigruten has a multilingual coastal experience team who give daily talks and host activities. Everything from the science of the northern lights to the geology of the fjords. It turns the landscapes into more of a story, so you're not just looking at the scenery, but you're understanding it too. We stayed in an Arctic Superior cabin on Deck 5, which was bright, modern, and perfectly cozy for long voyages. Just a few doors away were Mum and Dad, which, yes, was super handy for late night snack runs or, hey, where did you put the charger again? Moments. The cabin's design is clean, Scandinavian wood tones, minimal but warm decor, big windows that let the coastline do the talking. Something fun is that each deck has its cabin doors painted in a different colour. Back in the early days of Hurtigruten, this was a clever way of helping passengers to figure out which floor they were on before modern signage. You just remembered your colour deck. It's such a charming little nod to the ship's history and makes every corridor feel cheerful. Every cabin comes with Wi-Fi so you can stay connected even in some of the most remote parts of the Arctic. And if you're curious about the variety of rooms, there is something for everybody. Expedition suites on the upper decks have space for 4 with big bay windows, mini bars and sofa beds. The mini suites are perfect for 2 with extra space and views, and then there are simple but comfortable cabins in the middle and lower decks with 2 or 3 beds, private bathrooms and good views. And yes, there are wheelchair accessible cabins too. Deck 7 is where the magic happens. The panorama lounge is the ship's crown jewel, massive windows wrapping all the way around, so no matter where you sit, you've got front row seats to Norway. And right inside is the Explorer Bar, comfy armchairs, panoramic views, and a menu that covers everything from coffee to teas and hot chocolate to Norwegian craft beers, wine, and a whole lineup of aquavits. There's something about sipping a drink here while the fjords glide past. It's so peaceful, so cozy, and somehow still buzzing with quiet energy. Also on Deck 7 is Malte, the bakery and ice cream counter. The smell of fresh pastries just hits you. And then you spot the open sandwiches, called smørrebrød, piled high with toppings, and the ice cream? Straight from Lofoten. All of the classics, plus quirky Norwegian flavours like brunost, brown cheese. The name Malte actually means cloudberry. And yes, they serve cloudberry jam with waffles and whipped cream. Right outside as well are some viewing areas. Bracing wind, insane views, and if you wander to the back of the ship, you'll find 2 steaming hot tubs. Sitting in hot water with the Arctic air on your face and mountains towering above, it's like Norway's showing off just for you. There's also a fitness room, you know, if you're feeling a little guilty about that second cinnamon bun. But more importantly, there's a sauna. And let me tell you guys, this sauna becomes addictive. Every day we found ourselves back in here, defrosting while having great chats with one another. Throughout the ship, you'll also stumble across small lounges, libraries, and window corners designed for slowing down. That's one of the best things. It's not just about being busy all the time, it's about giving you space to soak in the journey. We're just now entering Tromso, which is very exciting. Tromso is known as the gateway to the Arctic. Tromso is one of the best places in the world to see the North. Oh, that really does blind you. That never not gives me a fright. Oh my goodness. My parents are going to quite like this city. We've got 3 hours here and we've not booked any excursions. We're going to wander around. We've got 2 different coffee opportunities. I've tracked down 2 beautiful cafes apparently. And then we're going to go to an Arctic cathedral. Välkommen till Tromsø! Tromso is officially the world's northernmost city with a population over 50,000 and Norway's largest inside the Arctic Circle. But Mum and Dad were particularly excited because Tromso isn't just northernmost in general, it seems to be the northernmost of almost everything. It's home to the University of Tromso, the northernmost university in the world. Every January, the city hosts the world's northernmost jazz festival, and if you love good beer, Tromso has the Mack Brewery, founded in 1877, which holds the title of, you guessed it, the northernmost brewery in the world. You can even drink their beer at Hallen, Tromso's oldest pub, which opened in 1928. Then there's the Tromso Cathedral, the northernmost Protestant cathedral in the world and the only wooden cathedral in Norway, built in Gothic Revival style. It's also one of the city's most beautiful landmarks. And it does not stop there, my friends. Tromso has the northernmost art museum, the northernmost Burger King, the northernmost McDonald's, and even the northernmost 7-Eleven. Basically, if you can think of it, Tromso probably has the northernmost version of it. Phew! After all of that northernmost everything, it was definitely time for another coffee and a croissant. So, Mum and Dad have been rather busy embarking on pretty much every lecture on offer on board the ship. Mum, would you like to show off one of the cool facts that you learned about modern Norwegians?
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that I learnt was the education, and the only time you pay for your children's education is kindergarten, which is preschool. You pay for that, and then all the rest of the education is free, including university, which is unheard of where we come from, because people get big student loans, they owe a lot of money to the government, but it's free from, I guess, six years old. Well done. That's really good.
And what about you, Dad? Did you learn a cool fact?
Yeah, one of the things that fascinated me was the amount of electric cars. 90% or over 90% of the cars in Norway are electric. And one of the main reasons for that is the government support. Other cars, other brands that aren't electric from overseas come with a 60% tax.
It is day 6, and Mum and Dad had no idea this was coming. I kept it quite quiet. But today, we're hiking up this mountaintop right behind me. How are you feeling thus far, Mum?
Well, I haven't even got to the bottom of the hill yet and I'm worn out, especially having done a leg workout this morning in the gym.
We've been sticking with our family workouts every morning at 7 a.m. in the gym. How about you, Dad? Are you so excited? But I promise them it's going to be so worth it. The views at the top are stunning, and I did look up. There is indeed a cafe for a latte after. We're just going up there.
What the heck?
You happy with me?
Oh,
Nope, we won't. I think they'll be happy with me in approximately 90 minutes time when there's a latte in their hand. So we're walking all the way up this path that zigzags until we get to the very top. And then we'll have an even better view of what we have right now. That's my parents. They are earning their latte.
The things we do for the camera.
I believe in you, Mum. Thank you for being such a fantastic extra. So at this point in time, I think Mum and Dad are very, very glad that they agreed to come on this trip with me. To be fair, this is the only super uphill hike we've done yet, actually. Let's go, Dad.
Let's go.
I believe in you. Let's go, Mum.
Oh.
Dad, are you loving life?
I love life, I think.
Mum.
I love life, especially up this high in a mountain in Norway, nearly at the top of the world. And wow, look at the view. What you can see is what we can see.
You got this, guys. We've only got this one little bit to do up there, and then I'm pretty sure we would have hit the top. We have officially made it to the top, and this is the reason I wanted to bring Mum and Dad up here, because I thought this was so funny when I first saw it. And Mum just asked, is this where we get our latte? This right up here is actually a sauna, and I didn't know this until Ludwig and I hiked up here last time, and we saw that it is indeed a sauna. Look at this. It's like a classic Norwegian sauna. Just casually up here in the middle of a mountain that you had to hike like an hour up massively steep stairs to get to. That is so cool. Only in Norway. Yeah, it's open. How cool is that? This is so freaking awesome. Look at this view. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, would you look at this?
Is this a sauna?
It sure is. How's this for the coolest sauna you have ever seen in your life?
It's got the stuff to make it there.
Oh, cool, right? Look at that view. Is this a pretty cool sauna?
This is a pretty cool sauna.
Pretty cool, huh? Dad's writing. Oop. You're too long over there. Dad's writing in the guest book.
Great.
Imagine how many awesome saunas like this are just randomly dotted around Norway that you have no idea about. This has got to be one of the coolest though. So we did end up going up there, like I said, hey?
Chloe was joking when she said we're going up there, but we did it. Oh, now we feel good.
My legs feel like they're starting to fold under me. Honestly, I'm not joking.
I feel good. I feel good.
As the day faded, the sky outside our windows transformed into something out of a dream. The whole horizon turned into layers of colour. Pinks, purples, streaks of orange, and the way it reflected off the water made it feel like the ocean itself was glowing. Every time we thought it was about to fade, it shifted again, becoming even more beautiful. We lingered over dinner, forks halfway to our mouths, completely distracted by the show outside. Mum kept nudging Dad to look up from his plate. I kept dashing off to the windows or out on the deck with my camera. It was impossible to sit still. Now, if I were you, I honestly would not go too far. I would not go too far at all. Because if you think that this cruise ferry has been great thus far, I think you're going to really like what's coming. We're visiting a place called the Snow Hotel, and this place apparently has huskies and reindeer. Plus, we are having breakfast on the northernmost point of Europe. Among that, we're also going to visit the Lofoten Islands by boat, as in by smaller boat than this one. We've got an action-packed week yet to go, and I think this might be the coolest episode of all. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really, really hope that you tune in for next week's one. Also, if you'd like to book this cruise ferry yourself, then I'll leave the link below. And I definitely think you should. Take it all in, because it's about to get even better. See you next week.